Yo, what's good? You're now tuning into the No Yes Men podcast. It's your homie New Future Flash in the building. We got...
Yo, it's your boy Trues.
Yo, it's your boy S. Dot.
The real Maul.
The real one.
Not that Joe Budden.
Not Joe Budden.
So this is our final week in Black History Month.
Just kidding, Joe.
So we're going to bring it off with a quote from President V. Johnson. He said, if you can convince the lowest white man he's better than the best colored man, he won't notice you're picking his pocket. Hell, give him somebody to look down on and he'll probably empty his pockets for you. So how y'all feel about that?
I need you to explain it a little bit more.
He's basically saying, like, you know, I don't know if you ever heard Kanye talk about classism, right?
Okay, yeah.
Like, he's basically saying that racism is an illusion. Really, the problem that everybody's fighting is classism.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So he's saying these elites that run everything look at everybody as niggas, as like the trailer park white boys,
yeah,
all of that. But
like
you see
low
how,
classes, low
yeah,
classes,
how you see how all these hillbillies going out voting for Trump and shit. They're not realizing they're part of the fucking
you just as good as us, yeah.
Exactly. No, they are us. Like, you know what I'm saying? They just feel like once you convince them that since they're white, they get more benefits. You know what I'm saying? Like how you got, you know what I'm saying? They're doing the same crimes as we are.
Yeah.
Getting locked up for less. So once they see that, you know what I mean? Stay still this episode, guys.
Oh, word, my bad.
Yeah, just saying like you were saying, they can do the same exact thing that we're doing and get less time. It's just making it feel like white privilege is, even if it's just a smidge better than being black, it's like, okay, well,
fuck that.
I might be broke too, but I'm white broke. You black broke.
Exactly.
You know what's really interesting? Like, I'm reading this book, and the movie's coming out soon. It's called Best of Enemies, and it's about C.P. Ellis and Atwater and Durham. And like,
is that the Taraji?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I know you're talking about. Yeah.
It's actually for a class, but you know,
love Taraji.
But basically, C.P. Ellis like didn't even realize so he was a poor ass white man. You know what I mean? And they used to play football. It was whites versus blacks in Durham in like the early mid 1900s or whatever. And basically, C.P. Ellis was saying that he didn't even realize his white privilege until they were saying, like, the black dudes would obviously beat the white dudes' asses in football.
Yeah.
And then, like, the white dudes would get mad. They would go to their separate sides of the track. And then he said when they were out of the distance, the white dudes would say, go home, niggers. Like, go home, go home. And he was like, after his first game and losing and hearing that from his white, teammates, he was just like, yo, like, they are niggas. And I am white. Even though they're both equally poor, like, just that, like, that day for him just gave him this sense of entitlement. Like, I'm not a black man. Like, but I am poor. I'm just as poor as them, but they're actually black, and there's nothing they can do about it. And he was like, head of the Klan for a while, and then left, and then started working with Atwater. But I highly recommend y'all to read the book, especially if you're from North Carolina. Even if you want to know more about Durham and like the Black Wall Street and everything, it covers all of that. And definitely go see the movie next month for sure.
The only reason why I brought this quote up is because this is like age-old concepts. Oh. It's called divide and conquer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you got, the moment all the broke people stick together, they're going to be fucked.
Yeah.
But so you got classism to break up the money ranges.
Yeah.
Now you got racism, which is instilled, so we don't talk to the broke white guys.
Gotcha. So
the broke white guys, the broke black guys don't communicate. You know what I mean? Like, just like, I don't want to get too much in conspiracy theories, but, the Vatican releases all the religions, right? So that's another way they're breaking people apart. The moment you start bringing everybody together and they start communicating, all of this banking system, education system, all of this shit will have to be redone. You know what I mean? So that's why I feel like that's very important for us to keep in our minds every time we do a protest, every time we do anything. Like, even paying for shit is protest.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And I think that's like literally the colonizer's best weapon is the whole divide and conquer. Like when you look at Rwanda and like the Tutu and the forgot the opposing tribe, but they literally constructed this ideology and like implanted them in the way of thinking. They were like, oh yeah, these guys, like, we'll give you rank, you know what I mean? But you guys have to oversee them and make sure they're cool. So they gave them that level of classism and like that level of superiority amongst like their own people, which is really crazy.
So how do we combat this classism? Because like when we're talking about it now, I think of like entertainers, right? And I think of Eminem and how he was able, I don't want to say like infiltrate, but how he was able to get into hip hop, basically because of like it's like he realized like we're the same. You know what I mean? I come from a trailer park. Like I'm no better than anybody else. It's like that humility that he had when he entered hip hop that people kind of fucked with and was like, you know what? It's not this guy trying to like appropriate our culture, but he understands it a lot more. Yeah, he respects it a lot more. So how y'all think like we combat the classism part? Like, what's it going to take for us to come together and like realize that we broke, like everybody broke.
It's just everybody looking at each other as equals. Like, see somebody as a human being. Like, and all too often, like, we've been conditioned as, oh, that black guy, oh, that white guy, oh, that Mexican.
Yeah.
Like, why can't you say, oh, that guy, oh, that human? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
why we have to label them?
Right, yeah, exactly.
For starters, we could stop helping them out. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? Like Nipsey Hussle said when he came back from Africa, he realized the gang culture. He's going into another neighborhood looking for somebody who looks just like him, dressed just like him, acts, talks just like him. So he's driving past the white people, the preppy people, and looking for somebody who looks just like him to shoot up. And that's part of the self-hate system. You know what I mean? So every time we decide to do something like that, we're helping them
to win.
You know what I mean? Like,
pushing
just
each other
like
back down,
Yeah, just like I said, what we buy, we know they're putting shit in McDonald's. They're putting cancer in the food, but we're buying it.
Yeah.
So we're initially helping them out. But if we keep our money and put it back into our communities and back into our system.
That's a lot easier said than done.
Bullshit it is.
You can say that right now, and it's just like getting the masses of like kind of ignorant people. It's like, oh, like, and you got to realize some things about some communities. Like, a lot of people don't like to try new things. And it's just like, if you're like, oh, don't go to McDonald's, come to this garden and get some fresh beets. They're like, nigga, what? I'm about to go get this 4 for 4.
Well, see, what the food is, like, where they get us, I feel like, is the convenience factor. Like, we become so lazy that we'll take the music that's convenient, that's coming out fast, you know what I mean, versus paying attention to an artist who might take 6 months to drop an album. We like, all right, I'm going to just listen to this guy who's dropping a new song every week.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm going to just go get this food that I can have in 5 seconds instead of taking the time and, like, waiting for somebody to cook it or something like that.
But at what point, though, do we build each other up enough and support each other enough to where we can have the next McDonald's? So we can still go somewhere like that. That's convenient. That's affordable. That's all of those things, and build a brand to make it something to where we can still shop there and still do that. Like, we have to do a better job of all supporting each other and making and building brands up, and supporting our own community.
Yeah, we should, but I mean, it's like it comes back to like, look how long we've been beaten down by these classes, right? Like, they had schools that were separate. They were segregated schools, right? And then, like, we talked about this. They had segregated schools, so then they integrated all the schools. But then you want to be the black family who has a kid at the white school. You know what I mean? So now you've already created a class. That's the classism effect. Because now it's like, I might live in the same neighborhood as you, and your kid goes to the all-black school. But my kid goes to the black and white school, so it's like, I kind of like, you know what, like, we the same, but I'm just might be a little bit better. You know what I mean? We've been built, and like, they've conditioned for like that forever. Yeah. So that's why, like, these people are like, I'll spend my last 200 on some J's just to be the nigga with the J's. You know what I mean? I'd rather be that guy than be the, like, even, this is my last 200. You know what I mean? 200. You know what I mean? This is my last $200.
The moment you accept that psychology, then you can't complain. Then your ass shouldn't be in the protest. When you start seeing problems and you start hearing solutions that people give, don't say it's too hard. Don't say it's not convenient. I mean, what's not convenient is getting stuck in a system that shows you no love. That's what's not convenient. You know what I'm saying? What is convenient is being basically disrespected. Yeah, and it's like we know this shit is going on, but nobody
lost the concept of like love for each other. Like, America in general, like, this is a very individualistic like society that we live in. It's like every man for himself. I mean,
but that is taught.
Crab in a barrel, yeah.
That is taught because I know kids. When you watch kids, they don't give a fuck what color you are. They don't care about nothing. They hug you. They love you. All of that.
All that's taught. That's taught. They say racism taught.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Racism
so we are instilling all of that stuff into kids.
I mean, even after like we'll talk about like the Gucci stuff, the Gucci situation, and them coming out with the blackface sweater. Like people are still buying this. Just so they can say that they're amongst the people who own Gucci. Like I know people who are paying $1,000 for a coat that 1 million people already got. You know what I mean? Where you can go get a custom piece that nobody else has for 1/10 of that price. You know what I mean? But that comes back to the classism. Like people are just trying to
compete.
You go so long without that you're willing to do anything just to belong. You know what I mean? Even if it's just for a second. Even if it's just alright. Like I just got these shoes. So now like they're dropping new shoes every week. Like you know what I mean? It's no difference. But I just need to belong to something.
Yeah,
even if it's just for a second. Yeah. Even if it's just for a second. Like people probably ain't got their lights on right now because they had to go to All Star.
Right. And you know what's crazy about that? I said like Justin, y'all know Justin's in town, and yesterday we were in the car. I forgot where we were going. He was like, I was like, yo, let's go get tack tomorrow. He was like, tack. He's like, nigga, you talking about tax? You ain't got tags on your car. I was like, facts. I was like, but I've been riding around. He was like, no, man, like, why you risk it? Go into more debt, you know what I mean? And then,
yeah, bro, that's just expensive because I got caught up with it.
First thing I did today, tags, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like,
see, that's because had you not got them, it would have been even more expensive.
Right, I would have
and it would feel worse if you hadn't got the tag, and then you got in trouble with your tags. Right. Now you got the money to take.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And it would have been twice, and it would have been twice. Yeah, but that's exactly. But that's how we think. We like, all right, like I might not have lights next week, but I'm gonna have good ass weekend. Like you know what I mean? But they try to teach us that like live for the day, and that's true. Live for the day, live for the moment, because you might not get tomorrow, but live for the moment that you can afford. Don't put yourself in a hole trying to have this experience, and then 2 weeks later, you like, well, damn, I just had this money. Like, now I can't pay my bill. Like, now my phone off. Like, you could have had a good weekend. You know what I mean? You could have had a good weekend that wouldn't hurt you, that wouldn't set you back. And I've been victim to it myself. Like, spend it before you get it. Like, that's how, I feel like that's why we go into, like, these credit situations where people credit are fucked up because it's like, all right, well, I'm gonna just spend it now, like, and just wait. But the thing is, like, you lose your job after that weekend, then what? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Now you $1,500 in debt, and you don't got no income, and then the fees, the late fees are steady piling. You know what I mean? So then what you gonna do? Basically. Yeah. So then what you gonna do? Like, so then when you finally do get a job, you look, and that $1,500 is now $7,500.
But you know that also goes into the illusion that we have a limited supply of something. One thing I heard the other day that fucking blew my mind is, do you know the entire population of the planet can fit in Texas?
I believe it, because all that land that's out there.
So explain to me, how the fuck are we running out of shit? That illusion that we're running out of stuff basically creates competition and creates that. Look at how people fight in line for Jordan.
What are we running out of?
They're saying we're running out of everything. Like natural resources and stuff like that. That's why they're boosting prices on certain things. You know what I mean? And they're only giving like
the market.
We have enough. Yeah. We have enough food to feed everybody.
But it's the classism market, like we said. Like everybody wants to live in LA. Everybody wants to live in New York.
But once you break that mindset and stop thinking, oh, there's only one house on a mountain.
Yeah.
There's only one house on a beach.
Yeah.
Then you start. All that pressure gets released.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because right now,
we're creating anxiety for ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. And the problem with that shit is, man, like, just like the Jordan release. There's only this many Jordans being released, which you got people doing in line, fighting. Over the same fucking shoe he sold 10 years ago.
Not no more, not with these tickets.
Killing.
But see, that's
people still getting robbed. People still getting robbed.
People
still getting killed.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, at what point are we going to be like, yo, that's not even dope. He just released that shit, the same shit. When are we gonna push him to come up with something new?
Yeah,
when are we?
33s.
No, I mean like this. What I'm saying is
coming
like,
out with stuff new. People just don't want it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like.
I mean, not even when are you gonna push him to get something new? When do you say I'm gonna make my own shoe?
Hey.
Everybody looking
I'm gonna make my own shoes.
There's people with shoes. We're just not buying them. Like, we got to do a better job of supporting them because there are people that are releasing their own shoes and releasing their own clothes and releasing their own.
We just watched LeVar go on a press run, and everybody said he was fucking insane.
Yeah,
which he was smart. That whole thing is smart.
But what comes back to is like we see it, and a lot of times we say, "Well, I could do that, so I'm not gonna support him because I could do it." Like, no, support him because he did it.
Doing it, right?
Yeah.
In America,
support him because he did it.
Like, it's already up and running. Why don't you go ahead and support him until you get yours up and running?
And then hope that it comes back. And that's the thing. Like, when people talk about karma, what you give is what you receive. Like, if you knock somebody, you don't want to support somebody because you could do the same thing. Like, so you're not giving. You're not going to receive when you do it. So when you realize your business is failing, it's because you didn't support nobody else's business.
Too. It's like, I'm not going to support it.
That's all it is.
Because I wish I was doing that, and I'm not, so I'm like not going to support it. I'm not going to condone it.
Even when it comes down to like t-shirts, people are like, oh, like, he just made a little t-shirt. Yeah, but he did it. Right. He spent the time. He spent the energy. He spent his own money to do it. Like, support it because... When you make a t-shirt, you gonna be like, well, don't nobody want to support me. Don't nobody want. It's a $10 t-shirt, and I can't get nobody to buy it because you didn't give $10. Sure. Like when you had the chance, and you decided to smoke it.
What's fucked up? What's fucked up is the crabs in the barrel mentality is fucking retarded because people are taught that in order for somebody to get rich, they have to be taking money from you, and that's not true. If you get rich, that has nothing to do with money out of my pocket. If anything, it should make me happy, make me proud. You know what I'm saying? But you're like, he made it.
Do you think this is beyond, like, do you think this is confined, like, within America? Or do you think this is...
Well, I feel like
Because when I interact with people of other cultures, they have that love. They have that compassion. They don't, that $14 that you owe me, they're not going to flip out like Will Smith in Pursuit of Happiness.
You know but the thing is...
It's my $14!
Yeah, it's... like I said, it comes back to, like, what do you want out of the world? Mm-hmm. Like... And the things that you want out of the world, you gotta give. One time we was at the gas station. We was at the same gas station, right? Lady comes up, says, "Hey, I need to get some gas." What I give her, like $10 or something like that?
I think so.
She put $1 in her pump, pulled off.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right? She put $1 in her tank and pulled off.
Yeah.
And I just gave her 10.
We watched her put $1 in her tank.
She put $1 in her tank and pulled off. So basically, she scammed me, right? Today, a guy, he stopped me and he said, "Yo, man, my car is broke down. I ain't had nothing but a 20. I gave it to him, right? Because if I ever am in that situation where
somebody to look out.
I'm hoping that the things that I've given are gonna come back to me. You know what I mean? Sure, like that could have easily tarnished me and been like, man, I ain't never giving nobody nothing again.
That's the problem too with support. We'll support one black-owned business.
Yep.
Some will go wrong, and then we done with black-owned. But if you'll support any other brand, your package be 3 weeks late, and you going right back to purchasing and buying from them.
Fashion Nova they sent you the wrong package 8 times, and you still going back.
I think it's like restoring like that faith back in humanity. You know what I mean? Like I bought some shoes, and I left it with no consignment sheet. It was like $1,000 Jordan UNC Off-White ones. I left them at the mall, and my mom was like, "You ain't get no." I was like, "If you just have faith in people, you know what I mean? If you just have faith in people, then like it will just come back full circle. It's just like the whole karma thing. Like you have faith in humanity, I think humanity and mankind will have faith in you.
But it's how the system is designed. Because our boy Marcus went to Dubai, right? And he said people would drop a wallet on the street, cash all in the wallet, and nobody would touch it. Just keep walking by. But if you look at our country,
you couldn't drop it.
You look at second country, you know what I'm saying? Like, but the fucked up thing is all the European colonies have it like that.
Yeah.
You go to Britain, they're doing the same shit we're doing here.
Yeah.
That whole Brexit shit that's happening, like that shit is the same exact thing that's happening here. They got the Democrats, Republicans. They don't call them that. They call them the liberals and conservatives. But it's the same fucking system.
Yeah.
And it's just copy and paste it. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
And every country that has that system is fucked up. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm afraid of. Like,
that's why I don't fuck with the goddamn Democrats or Republicans. I feel like it's a damn carrot in front of a jackass game.
Yeah, and that's what it is.
Like, when are we gonna, like you said, make your own party?
But you're not. But that's the thing. Those parties are not made to agree. So, like, when people are like, well, why don't they just getting along and like those parties are made to combat each other. You know what I mean? That's the purpose of them.
They're made to make the country better.
Yeah.
Everybody's goal is supposed to be making the country progress.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be a tit for tat. It's not supposed to be I'm hot, I'm cold.
Everybody's views on progression are different though. Like your progression is different from my progression. My progression, this is arbitrarily speaking, but like, or hypothetically speaking, but like you're a Republican, I'm a Democrat, and I'm like my like view on progression is like everybody coming together, and then you as a conservative saying my view is the people who got it, and the people who don't. You know what I mean? Those are the two extremely opposing views. You know what I mean? Yeah. And we have, and the people in the most liberal side, it's like the representation is not there. You know what I mean? It's a very underrepresented class.
But I'm sitting here admiring to be in this class. Yeah. You know what I mean? I want this money. I want this status. Even popularity, like high school popularity contest. Like, you know what I mean? Because everybody wants to be the cool kid. Like, so you look at the kids and you're like, okay, well, what's this person wearing? Like, if I can just have this belt just so I can be like him, you know what I mean? Because he gets the girls. If I could just wear these type of clothes because I just want to be them, even if it's just for a day. Like, you know what I mean? Because you wear it for one day. If you really can't afford it, you can't wear your good shit every day. You know what I mean? Because if people are like, yo, damn, my nigga, you wearing that belt out. Dang, I see that Gucci belt 10 days in a row, bro. Like, that's the only belt you got? Like,
shit every day, cartoons.
Well, a lot of people say it's like you look at one way, it's about what you're taught and what you're around, too. So, what you're exposed to. So, if you kind of change the way that it's, like, say, for instance, you take a broke person and put them with a bunch of rich folks, that brother or sister is going to become wealthy. When you associate with the same people stuck in a situation, you can never change.
And that's a fact though, because me coming from Memphis, and being in that type of environment, that hood environment, I guess if you want to say,
we definitely gonna say hood.
I've always been super competitive and wanted to be a leader my whole life, but it was easy to lead there. The competition wasn't that high. Right, so I could make C's and B's and still be better than a lot of my friends. Yeah. I could have a halfway decent job, but I'm not working in the factories like the rest of my homeboys. Yeah. So when I moved here, I was so far behind from compared to people here from Memphis to here, like the high school I went to when I came here. I was so far behind everyone else. But that competitive nature in me took off. Yeah. Like things that weren't in me before, it automatically took off in me because I'm like, yo, I am a competitor. I do want to be ahead of, but I didn't have to try that hard to be ahead of the game where I was from. Now I have to step my game up. Yeah. So putting me in a different environment like that is why I wouldn't be who I am today if I had stayed in Memphis.
And that comfortability though is what scares people because like you said, you had already had that ambition of like, let me be this type of person. Let me be like the best I can be. Where it's like, if I'm comfortable just doing this, like, the last thing I want you to do is put me in a position where I gotta bust my ass. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? I've gotten so comfortable with, like, what I'm doing and the people around me that's like, I don't want nothing outside of this.
And I can't even say that there was a situation where I wanted to be moved. I probably was comfortable, but I was forced. Like, my mom moved here, so I had to. Well, I didn't have to move her, but I took that choice, the decision to move with her and move up here too. So it wasn't a situation that I put myself in. So I was comfortable, and I did accept that. Like I did think that as long as I graduated high school, if I got me a solid job at the Nike factory, I'm lit. Yeah. Like that's the big thing back home. You work at FedEx or you work at the Nike factory. You got one of them two jobs, you lit. You work at the Nike factory, you got all the Nikes and Jordans. You lit. You know what I'm saying? And you get you a nice little whip, a little apartment. You good. You can work in factories for the rest of your life. Moving up here showed me something completely different. Like that's not okay. Like I don't want that. Like I want the complete. It's not gonna get me enough. Yeah. And now that I see that I can have more, like moving here, now that I see that I can have more, I want more. Right. Yeah. You know what I mean?
That goes back to what Ralph said about like what you're exposed to, and I like my story is like identical to that. Cause like I didn't start college till I was like 22, and like I was hanging around. Like I saw Heck every day, and I thought I was really smart. You know what I mean? I'm like I'm really fucking smart. And, you know, and then I got to Carolina. I swear my first 2 semesters I said all the 15 words. I was like, bro, these niggas are smart. I was like, whoa. I was like, bro, I've never been a scholar. And like, I'm amongst all these scholars. I'm just like, bro, this shit ain't for me.
It's crazy because if you go to the carnival, right? You want a goldfish. Goldfish comes in this little jar. You're like, all right, this goldfish ain't growing. You put that goldfish in a tank and watch that bitch grow.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly. You put that goldfish in a real tank and it grows. Yeah.
We gotta be more. We gotta be more comfortable being uncomfortable. Like with the cold shower, shower therapy. Like you have to be more comfortable being uncomfortable.
You just gotta do it. I started screaming before, like as soon as I turned the knob, I'm like, ugh! It's like, okay, cool.
And the thing is, you gotta ease yourself into it. That's why I tell people, like, do a regular shower. Just start thinking about it. So during your shower, you just start turning colder and colder. Once you've done the last lather, it should be kind of coldish warm. Then just turn that shit.
I just go all the way. The last 120 seconds. Cold.
Yeah.
I just be in there screaming. I know the people, if someone's in my hallway while I'm in the shower, they think I'm crying. I'm just
like, but the crazy part is, I've been doing it for maybe close to 3 weeks now. The other day, I forgot to do it. I literally turned my shower back on. Got back in just for the cold part. Because I was like, I got out and I was like, dang, hold on, I missed something. Because I got out and I felt like I wasn't ready. You know what I mean? I felt like I wasn't ready. And I was like, I forgot to do the cold part.
Truly, it does something to you. Like, I have always been a very indecisive person. Like, maybe I'm going to go, maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm going to get this, maybe I'm not. But cold shower, when you commit to being that uncomfortable in the shower, like
it's
you
decisive,
just like,
and that's other decisions as well. It continues. Like you're fine.
But think about, and I think this is what helps me do it, is think about the real world. So my morning routine, I wake up, make my bed. That's a win. No, the first one, before I even make my bed, is I get up and I turn my alarm off. That's the first win I have today. When you hit snooze, that's the first L you've experienced. That's the first loss. That's the first loss of the day. That's the first loss of the day, and you don't even really think about it. You're like, yo, like, but think about it. How many times do you hit snooze and you wake up and you feel even worse than when you woke up the first time? Yeah. Because you've broken your REM cycle. You've broken up your REM cycle. But that's an L. That's the first L that you've accepted for the day. So you wake up and you turn your alarm off, right? That's a win. That's one win. Damn. You go back, you make your bed, you completed another task. That's a win.
I made my bed in 2 weeks.
But that's a win that you're avoiding. That's an easy win for you. To wake up and make your bed, that's an easy win. You know what I mean? You've won by turning off your alarm. You've completed your first task of the day by making your bed. Something so simple. You're giving yourself easy wins. The cold shower. Would you rather be uncomfortable in a worldly situation, or would you rather be uncomfortable with some water? You know what I mean? So that's why I think it's been helping me, because it's like, all right, if I can conquer being uncomfortable with this water, I'm ready for whatever happens for the rest of the day. That's the difference between coming outside and you see a flat tire and now you're pissed off. You're, oh God, my tire's flat. To being, all right, man, shit happens. Like, let me go change my tire. Like, you know what I mean? Because I've already been uncomfortable. Like, it is what it is. You start to realize the world is what it is. You take it how it comes. Like, you got way more control over it than you realize. Like, I can let this situation make me mad, or I can just bypass the situation and get on with my day. You know what I mean?
Damn, yo. I got more losses than the Giants, bro.
I
got 5 alarms and I snooze every one of them once.
Everybody does,
man. To his credit, though, that joint is an idea, but to probably try to practice to do that. Sit your phone on the opposite side of the room.
He told me to do that.
Yeah.
He told me
you gotta get up.
I don't even use my phone. Get an alarm clock.
Yeah.
Get an alarm clock, because how many times your phone died during the night or something like that, you like, damn, I forgot to set my alarm. Like, get an alarm clock, put it on the other side of the room. Like, I gotta get out of bed. Yeah. So I gotta get out of bed and turn it off.
But don't laying back down.
Yeah, and don't. That's what I'm saying. When you go back to your bed, because it's natural. You go back to your bed, make it, so that you're not getting back in it. Exactly. You know what I mean? And then just go to the bathroom and start your day. Like,
yeah. What about, like, for me? I don't even use an alarm clock. I don't use an alarm on my phone at all. And like, before I go to bed, it's like, I want to wake up at this time, and it's just this weird thing that happens that I just like wake up. But then again, guys, I don't work, so I don't like have
to get up.
Objectively, well, I do have to go to class, but then it's kind of a choice. You know, there's some flexibility in there, but like ultimately, like every day, like I was just telling my roommate, I was like, I haven't used an alarm once this semester, and I've had perfect attendance except for Thursday. But it's been pretty cool. Just telling myself.
Probably Thursday, you probably broke a rhythm. Because usually, if you do that, your body's on the cycle.
Yeah.
So you naturally doing the same thing every day. Yeah. You're in a rhythm. Yeah. As soon as you do something outside of that, and you break that rhythm, then it throws your whole cycle.
And guess what I did after that? Guess what I did Thursday after I missed all this class? Cold shower. Because I hadn't did it in a week. And Thursday I was just like,
I've been reading up on like the sleep cycles because that's one major thing that I think we overlook is sleep. Like, because the fact that I can go 3 hours and bust ass the next day doesn't mean that I should. You know what I mean? I just can do it. But the REM cycle, so a REM cycle of sleep is between 75 and 95 minutes, right? So when you hit snooze for another 30 minutes, you haven't even completed a REM cycle. That's why you wake up 30 minutes later and you're way more tired than when you woke up the first time because you were done a complete cycle when you woke up. You know what I mean? But then when you hit that 30 minutes, you instantly start one over and your body's like, dang. But then they said, because I've been reading on the cold shower, but that's how you like break that. Like when you feel sluggish, that's like the most important time to take the cold shower.
Yeah, the shower feeling crazy.
Yeah,
I'm like,
you be a white. It's like coffee.
It's like I'm seeing 8K right now.
It's like everything's brighter. Yeah, everything's brighter. Your body feels crazy.
Too. Like I do it with candles, and I like go out into the world. And I'm just like,
and look, and try this too. Try incorporating this too. Once you've done the cold shower, brush your teeth with your off hand. It activates the other side of your brain.
I like that.
Yeah, it activates the other side of your brain, bro. It's crazy. Great. Yeah, I mean, it's just like I love these little biohacks. Like my degree's in biomedical engineering, so like when I was studying, I didn't really know what I liked about it. I knew I liked biology and stuff like that, but these little biohacks and tricks, them shits work, man. Like your body is a science project. Like it's a machine, you know what I mean? So if you can figure out these little tricks that work, I mean, these work for me. It might not work for everybody, but if you try different shit, you figure out, dang, that kind of does make my day a little bit better.
What's the next topic? Biohacks.
Yeah, I mean,
just you find out stuff about yourself.
Yeah, we're so afraid of structure and routine that's what's keeping everybody back. Like all the most successful people have structure in their lives. Like, a day off isn't a day off until you have to schedule it. You know what I mean? It's not a day off because I ain't had to go to work today. Like these people who really like out here getting it, they have to schedule time for them to take off. You know what I mean? That's when it's really a day off. Not because you just ain't got the weekend ain't a day off. You just ain't gotta work. Like, you know what I mean? You're supposed to get up and work on some other shit. But it should be like, all right, man, I done been working so long. Like, let me take this day off next month and just chill.
Yeah, that's kind of like hacking the music. You know what I mean? Work for the check, and then he work some more for the check. You know what I mean? Work don't stop. You know, that makes a lot of sense.
I mean, once again, I talk to you guys on a regular basis, and it kind of like pushes me to keep going. You know what I mean? Because he always telling me this weird shit. When you try it, it like fucking. It keeps you.
It does something. Yeah, it's either going to work or you're going to figure out some part of it that works for you.
Yeah, and like you said, it's about what you're around. So if you put yourself around a whole bunch of people who are gunning for something, even if it's not the same, like we met up with our homeboy Beast.
Yeah.
Like he's with film and he's gunning for that shit.
Yeah.
So my drive got to match his drive.
Yeah.
In order for us to sync, you know what I mean? You got to be moving.
Birds of a feather.
Exactly. Yeah. My producer, he's constantly. He works a 12-hour day, gets off, he don't even take a shower. He goes straight to the studio, makes beats for another 8 hours. I'm like, how the fuck? And you know, like once you see that, you can't just go home and watch a movie. Nah. You can't go home and take a nap. You're like, yo, fuck that.
And then want the same things. Like, you know what I mean? You can't want the same things. Then you looking like, damn, well, this person outworking the shit out of me. You know what I mean?
It's like, that's a good thing that somebody, a good wise man said. You know, everybody has the same 24 hours in a day. It just all comes down to how you use it. You know? Some people gonna use it more than others. They're gonna take advantage of every hour they have. You know, because it's that important to them.
Yeah, for sure.
So you know, it's what is important. What's your passion? What do you value?
That's why I said, like, the people. your circle. So I thank God for the people in my life every day. Because everybody that is around me and that's in my life right now, where I'm on this pursuit of like the best me, is also on the pursuit of the best them. Mm-hmm. So like even like when we started working out, like he wanted to work out for him. But when the days I didn't want to go, it was, bruh, nah, man, we got to get in here. We got to get it done. Like,
facts.
Because he's, and it was like, damn, well, I want the same goals he wants too. Like, that's the goals that we set. Like, I can't I can't let you outwork me. And I'm like, well, I can't let you outwork me. That competition amongst friends, that competition amongst friends is healthy.
And then I also can't let you slack because I'm chasing you and I'm on your heels and I'm trying to chase you down and be as good as you. If I allow you to slack, then what am I chasing? So I gotta keep you rolling. Yeah. So that way I can stay on your heels.
Yeah, and you don't want to win by forfeit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. You don't want to win by forfeit. It's like, nah, if I'm gonna be better, I'm gonna be better. Yeah, exactly.
You definitely want to continue to just evolve though, just in general. And like speaking of like evolving though, like I had crazy experience last night where I found out some stuff about myself that I may have been aware of, but not to this extent.
Gotcha.
So like to kind of set it up to get to last night before I go there. So my dad passed from cancer 2013. During this process, during this fight, I never mentally put it in my head that he wouldn't survive. Mm-hmm. Like I've had to been strong my entire life. I got little sisters, little brothers. I'm the oldest. I'm the man of the house. I've always had to be strong for everybody else. So found out he had cancer. I'm like, cool, you got cancer. It is what it is. You're going to beat it. It's love. It never once crossed my mind that he would pass. Mm-hmm. So when he did, it destroyed me. Like, took me out. Like, pushed away she was my girlfriend at the time, my now wife. Pushed her completely away, pushed family away. Almost lost my job, like, because I was down and out because I didn't deal with it. I didn't go through the motions. So fast forward to last night, my aunt sent me a video. She had cancer. My aunt sent me a video of her ringing the bell. So she beat it.
Yeah.
So super excited for her. I watched the video of her ringing that bell probably 10 times. And then it hit me like a kind of selfish feeling hit me where I was like, but dang, my dad didn't get to ring the bell. But then I caught myself in that process of being like, that's selfish. That's not fair. Like she beat it. Like I should be joyful for her and be excited for her. But it also messed me up and it made me so emotional, her beating it, because I realized that I hadn't even forgot that she had cancer because I put it in, but when I found out, I literally stored that in the back of my head like she's going to be fine. Yeah. It is what it is. I'll move on. But what it scared me last night to where if that message had been that she died and not that she beat it, it would have destroyed me again, all over again, like it did when I found out about my dad dying, because I didn't go through that. I didn't process that.
Yeah.
Like I didn't feel that. I didn't go through that with her.
The cycle,
I told myself, and that's dangerous. Like because I could go into that hole previously when my dad passed because it was just me. I didn't have a kid. I didn't have a wife. It was just me.
Yeah.
So now understanding. So last night it sparked something in me because I was like, if I had reacted the same way I did previously, and now I got a wife and a child that depends on me to keep this job, to support them, to be there for them, mentally, emotionally, all of these things. If that had broke me last night, if I had found out she died, now I have a family that would have destroyed as well. Yeah. So me not dealing with stuff is an issue.
Yeah, because like you said, because we've been conditioned to think you got to be strong.
Conditioned to be strong. Yeah. To not deal with stuff. To just put stuff in the back of my head, feel like everything is going to be okay because I have to feel like that to move on, to go on
to be the strong one.
To be the strong one. I just got to put stuff off. But that's dangerous.
Yeah.
At some point, we have to teach our kids and just men, I mean girls too, but definitely men, that it's okay to process when something is going on. Like
especially
to actually
how you feel.
To deal with something, to actually go through something, so that way the result of it
doesn't break you.
Yeah, because you went through it.
I think there's also a process of like the go through. So sometimes you can go through and go down and like not come back. So it's just like I think that's when like actually talking about it,
right?
Because I think that's a hard thing, and I think we touched on this before. It's like the communication aspect of like communicating with people is kind of hard sometimes. You know what I mean? Not knowing the right words, but finding that person, whether it be a professional, trained whoever, or whether it be a best friend, it's like that. Like when it comes to processing stuff, communication is the best way to get it out. You know what I mean? Well, because we've been taught that, like you said, it's okay. I'm gonna move forward. Don't need to talk about it. Don't need to speak on it. But you do. Like you need to like get it out, and sometimes effective communication helps you, and someone else's feedback like also helps.
That goes back to like what we were saying about being comfortable in the mindset that we've been conditioned into. It's so hard for a man to be transparent because I gotta be that nigga at all times. Like, you know what I mean? I can't have women issues. I can't have financial issues, or I feel like I'm less of a man. You know what I mean? Whereas if I were to say to the right person, like, man, I just can't seem to like get this right. Like I always feel like I'm short on money, and then like, but you are great with money. And you can be like, oh, all right, well, let's sit down and figure it out. Yeah. You know what I mean? Whereas I'm trying to internalize it because I don't want to let people in to realize that I'm not the man that I should be. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's where we're messing up. Like, how many times do you see, like, women get together in small groups just to talk? Just to talk. And we think it's gossip. A lot of times it is gossip. But a lot of times gossip is therapeutic. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because you're getting stuff out. Whereas guys, we got to talk about... When we get together, we talk about, oh, like, you know, I used to be back in the day, you know what I mean? I was getting all the girls back in the day, you know what I mean? We can't be transparent. We can't tell you, like, damn, man, me and my, like, that's why even, like, if I talk about relationship, like, I wouldn't do that now in, like, a big group. I might do it, like, to my friends and tell them, like, some issues that's going on in my relationship. But it's like, they might not be able to answer that. They might not be able to, they not have the same exact experiences, where if I were to talk to 50 men about it, I might find somebody who can really give me an answer. You know what I mean? But it all goes back to that transparency and being open and not being afraid to like be vulnerable. You know what I mean? We're afraid to be vulnerable.
And it's crazy too, because like last night, like that caused me to learn a lot about myself and realize some issues that I have. But the biggest part I took out of that, where I know that I'm growing, is I told my wife, like, yo, this is a problem. Like, I need to talk to somebody about this. Like, this is not healthy. So realizing it though, and being able to like say that I had a problem, I felt really good about that.
That's the first step.
But now where I have to work, what I have to work on now is, I didn't really have the conversation with my wife last night, because talking to somebody like that who I care so much about and I'm supposed to be strong for, it just made me emotional, and I couldn't really get out what I needed to. Yeah. But I felt better about sitting talking with y'all because the emotion piece of it is taken away.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Which is still an ego part, because I feel like talking to men, I know
you ain't gonna cry.
A little less emotional. You know what I'm saying, than talking to her about it. But I'm actually able to formulate those words and get them out a little bit better. Where I'm trying to get to a point to where I can have that conversation with her without, you know what I mean? Yeah, so
what's dope is she can listen to this shit. She can kind of get a little bit of
inside
view of what you're going through, and like talk to you. Maybe it's easier for her to bring it up than for you to bring it up. Because I'm just like that. Ask him. Every time I go through some shit, he like, yo, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with you. Like when that whole fucking divorce shit happened, I ain't say nothing to nobody. I came home, got a job, went straight to work. And it was just like, he like, the fuck? Like, even when mom, shit comes to me, like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah.
I'm good.
Straight. Yeah, like, I just like, you gotta keep, what the fuck can I do now?
But we gotta redefine strength. Strength isn't keeping it bottled up. Strength is the ability to let people in.
That's for sure.
You know what I mean? That's the strongest part.
Like, I think we all too often associate it with physical strength.
If
I break down emotionally, then I'm physically weak. No. Like, if you are emotionally strong, that means you communicate effectively and let people in. You know what I mean? Not to say that everybody, like Joe Blow on the street, like, hey man, I'm going through this. Some people walk up to me, I'm like, bruh, okay, I'm sorry that's your life, but I don't know you. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, I try to give them the best. I don't say that, obviously. I'm just like, whatever you're going through, it's going to be okay. You know?
But that's why I love this nigga, man, because he's the type, he'll call me up like, bruh, I just finished crying, dog. I was just driving in my car. I was just crying like a motherfucker. I'm like, what the fuck you crying for?
30 minutes.
You crying for? You go, man, it's just a lot of shit going on right now.
Like, that's healthy, though.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
I probably could benefit from a couple crying sessions.
Yeah.
Because that's just not me. Like,
if you cry in the shower, you won't feel bad about it.
I've been, like, I've literally been this way my entire life. Like, and not even on no, like, macho trying to prove a point stuff. Like, stuff does not bother me, dog. Like, how often have you been around me? Like, you're around me the whole...
I thought about that plenty of times. I'm like, yo, I feel like, I don't know if we've had discussions about it, but I prayed about it, and I'm like, yo, whatever you're going through, like, let it out. Like,
and I don't.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard for me. Like, I've been like that my entire life. Like I said, it may have something to do with the type of area I grew up in, because, like, I couldn't be emotional or weak at home because I live with my mom, my little sister, my little brother. Like, I had to be strong for them. Like, to this day, but I felt like I could because I needed to make sure they were good. Like, they could be emotional, they can come to me, they can break down, they can do all that. I couldn't do that. It has to be reciprocated. And then, true. But then when I leave out of the house, I'm in a neighborhood to where if you're soft, it's over for you. So when I leave out the house too, I gotta be tough. I gotta, like, you know what I'm saying? It gotta be understood that I'm breaking your face if it's an issue. So there was nowhere where I felt okay being vulnerable or being weak, and that carried over into me being an adult. Yeah. So then my first serious, like, traumatic experience was my dad dying. And it destroyed me. Yeah. Because I never had to deal with that. But at that point, I had no choice. Like, I never had to deal with that. But like I said, and I strictly remember never thinking twice about, like, it never crossed my mind that he was passing. Like, never. Like, that just don't happen. Like, we good. Like, crazy. I'm handling stuff.
Like, I know your dad passed, and it's really crazy. I haven't dealt with much death in my life, but I had a dream that, like, my dad passed. The first day of this year. And bro, that shit broke. Like, truly, like, I, like, called, I was like, he's like, you alright? I was like, no! I'm not okay!
Like I said, that's something that I appreciate about you, though. Like, that's dope that you could do that. Because even if I had an experience like that, I wouldn't have called my dad and told him that.
I broke down.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's what I told you last week. I said, I feel like I can cry every day.
Yeah,
like,
for real.
Every day, I feel like I can cry. And a lot of times when I talk, I get teary-eyed about stuff because it's like, I do put my emotions into a lot of stuff. Like, even, that's why I said, like, even when people come up to me and, like, I'll be sitting down at a restaurant and, like, this lady will start telling me her life, and I feel like she really feels like, dang, I can tell him this because he cares. You know what I mean? And she knows. Yeah, she knows. Like, it's something in the way that I'm looking at her and the way that I'm listening that she's like, this guy cares about what I'm saying right now. But it's just because I can see myself when I'm listening. Like, and I think, like, damn, if that was me telling somebody this, like, how would I want them to respond to it? So it's like being in touch with those emotions is strength. Like, you can be physically strong and mentally weak and not be a complete person. But the mentally strong and the physically strong person is not being broken at all. Like, even when you go to, like, the clutch gene, like, when they talk about Jordan and the clutch gene, like, if he would have thought he was going to miss, he would have missed. You know what I mean? But his mental toughness is like, I'm not going to break. Like Kobe, they say he's like the most mentally tough person because no situation made him break. It's like, I'm so strong mentally that you can talk all the trash you want to me and it's not going to get me out of my game. And I'm also physically a beast that you're not going to get me out of my game. You know what I mean? It's both parts that make a complete person. Yeah. And the mind controls the body. Mm-hmm. So if you're mentally weak, and I don't give a fuck if you can bench press 1,000 pounds. If I'm sitting here telling you, that shit gonna drop on you. That shit gonna drop on you. You gonna drop it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Versus somebody who's like, I'm so strong, I'll do this shit one hand. And they keep telling themselves that eventually that bitch gonna do it one hand. You know what I mean? Because your mind is so strong, you can, like, if you can control your mind, you can control everything.
Yeah. Going back to what you said, like, your interactions with someone and talking to this lady you don't know. So I have this weird story. Having a couple, it's not weird, I mean, it just happened, but, so I was, like, studying between classes before this next class, and I was outside of the dining hall, and it's, like, some chairs out there or whatever, and I was sharing a table with a girl I'd never met before. And I just happened to glance over, like, throughout my reading. She was reading the Bible. And I was like, oh, interesting. What class is that for? You know what I mean? And she was in Hebrews. And I was like, so, are you, like, what class is this for, you know? And she was like, it's not for a class. It's for my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And, like, that conversation, like, turned into, like, an hour. Like, I did not get my reading done. And, like, I mean, it was crazy is, like, the connection. Like, she, like, the next day, and it was just, like, on some Christ stuff, like, hardcore. But she was, like, text me. She was like, hey, Michael, like, just reaching out. Do you, like, need prayer for anything? Any upcoming exams, personal relationships, professional goals? And, like, she sends me sermons from, like, church and, like, scripture. And, like, this is what we received today. A random person. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I think full circle going back to, like, seeing each other as human beings. You know what I mean? She didn't see me as this big black dude who's old on my campus. You know what I mean? Or, like, I didn't see her as, like, XYZ. You know what I mean? There was no preconceived notions. And I think all too often, like, we can all be prejudiced and not even know it. It's like this, like, subconscious prejudiceness. And it's just like, if you just let your guard down and just interact with people. And I think that was one of my goals this year, is to engage, and, like, Deepak Chopra's, affirmations. One of them is just like, today, I will interact with someone that I've never met before. Yeah. And I go out like, today, I want to interact with somebody I've never met before. It's important. It really truly is.
He says, today I will see somebody as if they're me.
Right, yeah.
And it's like, today I'll see somebody as if they're me. And if you do that, you realize, like even the person on the street who's begging for money, that can be you. That is like, you're not above that guy. Right. Like, you know what I mean? That guy could have had the job and lost it and then lost everything else. Like, that guy could have been successful and lost it all. Like, that's the part of being humble. Like, you know what I mean? You see yourself in other people, even when it's good. Like, the people that you admire to be. You seeing yourself in this person's shoes. You know what I mean? And you're like, okay, well, one day that can be me. You know what I mean? And you're trying to push the good part out of it. But and then don't be above the bad part either. Because a lot of bad leads to good. Like, you can't have good without bad. You know what I mean? That's the yin and yang of it.
And then I think, like, seeing somebody like you, seeing someone like you, like, drops all prejudices. It's just like, oh, like, this person is me. I'm that person. Like, let's see. You know what I mean? It's so weird.
You feel comfortable.
You feel so comfortable, like, just sitting with strangers, just like.
The thing is, you gotta look at it too, is if you do that, what you're saying, like what you just saying, do, and open up and feel free and talk to different people. Because sometimes those little incidents you do like that can lead to other things
that you don't even know.
That could be the best connection you ever made in your life.
Networking. Networking is crazy.
Most critical thing you can do in life.
Yo, he was with me. This is how crazy it is. We were at the studio, right? Working all day. And, like, normally we don't eat. But we all had, like, a group meeting. We had, like, a point to not just do business. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, Cash was like, so we gonna make sure
let's go fellowship.
Exactly. We have a point to eat dinner together, do shit like that, so we grow bond. Yeah. I'm like, cool. So we doing music and shit, bam. Everybody's like, yo, I'm hungry. I was like, damn, I'm hungry too. Yeah. You know, everybody's on different diets. You know what I mean? We got Muslims in there. We got all of this shit. And Q was like, there's a hot dog place on the street. And everybody like, fuck hot dogs. He goes, no, but they're the best hot dogs in North Carolina. They got vegan hot dogs, all of that shit. Yeah. So we ended up going. Cash stayed because he had his girl with him. So it was like the whole crew. Yeah. Walk over to the street. We just at the bar. We ordered like 20 hot dogs. We all sitting there eating and talking. We're like, yo, our albums are coming out, blah, 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 blah. We're doing the podcast on Friday. I got your music and all of this shit. So we're just like, just shooting the shit. There's a white dude next to me. Like, old white dude. He's like 48. You know what I mean? Him and his girl sitting there talking and shit. And so, like, we're just talking to each other. And the guy, I just hear him go, something about a podcast. Right? And so I'm not paying him no mind. I'm thinking they're having a conversation of their own. He taps me. He goes, hey, so which one of you guys are the artists? And we all started busting out laughing. We're like, we're all the artists. Yeah. And he goes, oh, okay. Well, whenever you guys want music on the radio, let me know. He grabs his wallet. He pulls out a card. This motherfucker's the president of marketing for iHeart. He was like, I work with Cash Money. I work with all these people in New Orleans and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He was like, send me.
I dropped that.
Yeah. He was like, I'll get you airplay in New Orleans, and then he started naming off the different radio stations he does. He was like, just email me and text me.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, that's
because you never know. That's what I'm saying. You never know who you're gonna meet, man. And I think a big part of it is like I feel like I'm very approachable. Like I'm smiling all the time, like you know what I mean. But if I was walking around and I had this grill look on my face, wouldn't nobody walk up to me? But I'm always walking around, got a smile on my face, like you know what I mean. I might say hi to you or whatever, like. And I feel like that's a part of why people like walk up and just open up to me. I literally had to sit down and pray one time because I was like, yo, God, I don't know why people feel the need to like tell me their life stories, but a lot of it was just weighing on me. You know what I mean? I'm like, people are like literally dropping books on me. I'm like, I was like, yo, what's going on?
But he is probably the friendliest person on the planet, though. Like, and I guess like now after having this conversation, it's kind of making me appreciate that a little bit more now, just based on some of the stories that has come by. Because we've gone out of town and done stuff together, and he's blown me how long it takes him to get down the street or out of a building, because he'll stop and talk to 50 people before we get to where we're going. But maybe some good come out of this. So
you just never know. Like one day I might stop the right person. That's what I've been thinking too.
Yeah, Mike is just like
maybe
that.
I understand that a little more. Then they couldn't be together then because he's ridiculous, dog. Like it takes forever to get anywhere. But seriously though, I guess it does make sense, and like I said, and it will make me appreciate it because just sharing the story, same situation with me with my previous position that I was in. I would see a guy around the office, never even knew his name. I would see him getting coffee, getting water. We would chop it up, talk about sports, ask him how his day is going, just have general conversation. I would see him it got to the point where I would see him across the building and be like, yo, how you doing? It was all love. Never knew who he was. He never asked me. I never asked him. Cool. So I go for a promotion in a different department. I go interview with a round table. That goes well. So I leave. I'm on my way out. They called me. It was like, hey, do you have time to meet with the director? I'm like, sure. Like, I'm still here. I haven't left yet. They're like, cool. Come back up. Meet with our director. We liked you. We want to go ahead and move to the next process. So I go into the room. I walk in. It's him.
You like, my man.
And he like you? I'm like, yeah. Like, I'm like, oh, that's love. He literally took like all the questions and all that stuff he wanted to ask me, pushed it to the side, and we talked about sports and life and where I'm from. And before I got to and I left, before I got to the car, they called me and told me I had the job. And it was based on the relationship that I built with this man. I had no idea who he was. So it's super important to treat even the janitor like the CEO. You have no idea what can come from that.
Everybody, bro. Even like, bro, you in school, your classes, bro. Creating relationships with the professors, bro.
Exactly.
Bro, I promise, bro. That's the critical way I got my job.
Yeah.
Best,
and it's crazy.
Not even just jobs.
The high-profile architect of North Carolina and around the country, knows every big name designer. He is one of the top architects in the country. He got me my job. You know what I'm saying? Just because, or one of the people that work for him started their own firm, and they, found out that I knew him. He was one of my references.
He vouched for you.
He vouched for it tenfold. Like, you need.
But it's not even just like they tell you when you start school, like build a relationship with the professors, because if you have a relationship with the professor and you're struggling, they're more inclined to help you out and give you might give you that grade versus if I don't know you, like you don't never come to my office hours, like you don't never do none of that. Like why should I give you this A? Yeah. Why should I give you this extra 5 points? Like, you know what I mean? I don't know you. You know what I mean? How do I know you've been putting in the work?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, as an older student now, like I do that full throttle.
Yeah.
Like, and I meet department heads. They were like, huh. He was like, this one guy. He's like, most people. He was a black dude. He was like a historian and he's like a scholar of like Africa and Islam. Really cool man. And he was like, most black kids, students, don't come to me unless they need something. He was like, y'all don't need that. Y'all just come to talk. And he like really enjoyed that.
And I'm sure he did enjoy it. So then when you do need something.
Right.
And
that's what he said. And that's exactly what he said. Like, he graduated from UNC in the 80s and now he's back and he's like the head of a department. And he was just like, like this world is still very much about who you know, opposed to what you know.
But the thing is, you have to have faith in people. That's what it comes back to. Like, you have to have faith in, like, all right, this person's not going to be out to fuck me if I tell them some information. You know what I mean? You got to put yourself out there.
And I think that should be this podcast, like being my brother's keeper. I think, like, everybody, we are brothers and sisters, and I feel like if we keep each other, if we connect with each other, if we take the time out of our day to just have experiences, like shared experience with one another and get to know somebody, because they are you and you are them, you know what I mean? And you'll realize that we have a lot more in common than you think.
So we can impact a lot of people. Like that relationship that you and the girl had, you're talking about it now. Like, she impacted your life. And who knows how many people she's telling about you just because y'all are willing to sit down and have a conversation with each other.
Exactly.
That comes with being genuine. Just be a genuine person. Yeah. Like, you gave the person the money for gas. You had no ulterior motive. It was just like, boom, take, you need it, here. I got it. You know what I mean? And I feel like we're missing a lot of it. Everything's for, like, an ulterior motive.
Well, you feel like everybody's out to get you. But that's how they want you to feel, though.
Yeah.
Like, it goes back to that crab in the barrel. Like, I'm thinking that if I give this person my 20, like, he gonna do something that's gonna hurt me. Like, no, like, all right, whatever. Like, dude, if I give you this 20 and you just scam me, like, you gonna be out here for weeks begging for this 20. You know what I mean? You gonna be out here for weeks. I might find $100 tomorrow because I gave that 20. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, like I said, it goes back to what you want out of the world. But people don't really know what they want out of the world. They just know what they want, what they see.
That's another thing. People don't know their purpose.
Yeah.
Like, when you ask people, like, what's your purpose in life? They're just like, oh, to be, like, successful, to be healthy, to XYZ. And I'm like, your purpose is all about you. Like, even me, like, when I had to realize my purpose, and, like, I think we talked about this. What am I doing? Why am I doing it? And who am I doing it for? And who are you doing it for? What is your purpose?
Yeah. That my why thing that everybody's doing? The my why thing?
No, I was listening to the segment with Dr. Cornel West.
Okay.
And he was just like, and it was like the why. You know what I mean? And it's just like, okay, wow. Like, what? Like, who? No, it's the who. Sorry, guys. It's the who. And, like, once you realize the who, because everybody's about me. Me. And it's just like, I have this thing on my wall. It's like, once you remove I and want, like, you remove, like, desire, like, it's this thing, like, Buddhist thing, and it's like, if you say I want to be happy, then remove the I and the want, and then you remove desire, and then you're just happy. You know what I mean? And I'll send it to you. But it's really cool, and, like,
that whole mantra shit is all about diffusing the ego.
Yeah,
like, stop always being so concerned with how you look, how you're perceived, because that impacts how you perceive other things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just do things because it genuinely makes you happy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna go out because I want people to see me in my new shit. I'm gonna go out just because I want to enjoy my fucking shit.
Exactly.
But people,
you know what I mean?
people, like, and that goes back to what's the purpose in life. Like, in order to find your purpose, you have to search for it. Like, a lot of people want it to just pop up in their head. Oh, that's what I'm here to do. So, like, for real, like, and we'll pose this challenge to everybody listening. In this next week, like, search for your purpose and really sit and meditate and listen and see what you get back. You know what I mean? And then come back to us and tell us on our post.
And also interact with somebody.
Yeah.
One person a week. Just like make a new interaction.
Talk to that person. Talk to that person that you never talked to at work.
Make a new interaction.
Yeah. Make a new friend.
New beginnings.
Yeah. Make a new friend.
Even going to, like, what Mike just said. I kind of tied in what all y'all said, though. But just looking at, taking, yourself personally out of a situation and just trying to think about what you can do to impact people. So, like, even saying the school sense, me going to school was great. Yeah, I wanted to, I had a vision of where I wanted to go and what I always desired to do, but it was bigger than me. Me going to school was representing, I was the first out of my, family generation to go. I was the first gen grad to go, but also my cousins and stuff I grew up with, nobody really went. So it was like a whole change. So it's like, okay, now I'm out here. This is like
it's bigger than me.
I'm an example.
Man.
So, I go in here and F up, or do something crazy, and now they gonna be like, dang, he couldn't do it. I definitely can't do it. You know what I'm saying? So I go in there and change the mode. Like, oh, bro, he went out here and he went out in top of class with style. And he did what he wanted. He had fun. He was cool. Now that motivated them. You know what I'm saying? Motivates others to do it too. You know what I'm saying? That was bigger for me. I didn't really, you know what I'm saying? I got what I got, but you know what I'm saying? It's just to see all my other young brothers and sisters come in. Now they doing it. And now they out here in the grind, working, and you know what I'm saying, doing great things. But that was bigger to me than anything.
Yeah. See? Y'all thought y'all was coming here for some entertainment. Y'all got homework. So,
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I think this was a great episode. I hope you guys have fun, learn something.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? Like I said, it's New Future Flash.
It's your boy S. Dot.
Sorry, I know we didn't wrap it up. Before we do that, though, still is Black Friday. We are still supporting Black brands.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I don't want to get out of here before we do that. God is Dope, Atlanta Black-owned brand, as well as Fly By Nature, Memphis Black-owned brands. Actually, Fly By Nature 901, the area code on Instagram. They have a lot of great material, great shirts, great business in general. They're on time, speedy, great delivery. So, I just want to, before we head out here, I had to.
Nah,
also,
definitely.
Sure.
What you got?
Dashiki Needs. You can't really see it, but it's
it's
a really cool mural. Vivid Emporiums. It's a non-profit based out of Sierra Leone. This is actually made in Sierra Leone. My friend Kadiatu, she lives here. She has a workshop. It's a bunch of stuff made over in Sierra Leone, and she brings it back. And it's a really cool way to break into our African side and not just our American side.
Yeah, and I'm rocking Lyra Lifestyle, and there's some really dope, talented fellas out of Pennsylvania, man. They've done bathing suits, men's clothing, they're in real estate, like they're really trying to do everything. So check them out. We'll tag them.
I'm gonna add one more too. I'm sorry. I actually started using my Coral Oral Care toothbrush, black-owned company. Yo, no lie, one of the best toothbrushes I ever used.
Let's go.
Like it is really nice. And they're all black. Like the bristles are super dope. Like they come four in the pack. All the bristles are different. Like as far as like the way they design, the color of them, super dope. Me and my wife started using them this week. They're amazing.
Check that out.
Black-owned company. Check them out on Instagram. They're Coral, Coral Oral Care on Instagram.
Yeah, guys, and for you guys like Coral Oral and God is Dope, we would love to put you in like a link to you guys. So
yeah, shoot us.
So we'll reach out. Yeah,
shoot us an email. So, my shirt just came out the dryer, but
so it's black.
With all the bullshit that's going on with all of these businesses, these big clothing brands, just support your local clothing. Like you got dope ass designers in every city. Just support that. You know what I'm saying? Make that if you dope, make a local brand house. Yeah. That's all I got.
And it's not about not supporting these other brands that you like. It's just support the local person as much as you do them. You know what I mean? Because help somebody feed their kids versus the person who never has to worry about feeding their kids again.
But if they're disrespecting the culture,
exactly. And if you're getting disrespected, respect your dollar more than anything. You know what I mean? Respect the money that you work for. Don't let people put out stuff that's disrespectful to you and you rocking it just to say you rocking it. Yeah, just to be cool. Because that's not cool. That's not cool.
Your dollar is your employee, so let it work for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I said, appreciate the love, man.
Yep.
Tune in next week.
Riding through the city on my Cali flow. Blessed just to be with you, see, she the crack though. Gotta make a movie with my boo, that's a fact though. Seats back in the Cadillac with the 100 spokes. Everything's so groovy, Bell Biv come do me. It's a crime to love her, you should go on and sue me. She Michael Jackson bad, Janet Jackson nasty. Ooh, she's so sassy, but still keep it classy. Ooh, I had it chosen, Ice Coast, she